Good morning, my fellow yogic travelers. I'm mighty glad to be alive today, and I hope that you are too as we continue to live, laugh, love, learn, linger, and live the life we love. Oh, it's Wednesday, my bad joke day. Oh my God. So this bus pulls up to the stop, and people are waiting one online to get up, and this old woman who's further back in the line, she turns to the person in front of her and she says, "If you knew what I had, you'd let me go forward." Ooh, so let's go on the bus. And she gets on the bus, pays the toll, and right next to the driver, she turns to the person who's sitting there and says, "If you knew what I had, you'd let me have this seat." So the person gets up and lets her have the seat. The bus is going on for a long time or a short time, whatever time it takes, but all of a sudden, and then she turns to the bus driver and says, "If you knew what I had, you wouldn't wait for the next stop. You'd let me off right here." So he stops the bus, opens the door, the lady walks out, and then just as she's about to disappear, he says, "So tell me, what is it that you have?" And she says, "Chutzpah." For those of you who don't know what that word means, it means brazen audacity. Like when the person kills their parents, then throws themselves on the mercy of the court because they're an orphan. All right, so your journaling question for the day. How do you commit yourself to incline your mind towards well-being? In a world where so much is happening that could distract you, pull you away, the pressures we feel to respond, that could take you away from working on yourself in the most positive way, because that's also going to be a gift you're going to offer to the world. But you have to withdraw from the world to work on yourself. Buddha calls that inclining your mind towards well-being. Let me know how you're doing with that. All right, my affirmation teachers say, how is it possible that people can disallow, can acclimate themselves, get used to the disallowance of well-being? They live with it for so long, they think there's no other way. So here's what they suggest. Don't use other people's behavior as an excuse for you to disconnect from spirit, number one. Number two, they'd say find reasons to feel good. Find something in the moment to be happy about. And three, don't count on experience for being pleasant in order for you to connect to spirit. That is a great recipe for learning how to stay joyful and creative. Next thing, the laws that work in this affirmation world have to do with all things be ready if your mind be so. Supply and demand are one in this world. Supply the mental condition, and the demand or the opportunity or the occasion will present itself automatically. Another really important thing is we're all going to make mistakes, but recognizing any failure intelligently is a step towards recognizing how to build success on that. So you don't throw away the failures. Like we say, you don't throw the manure away, you put it on the garden to recycle it, make it fertile. All right. Now, my mentors are always talking about getting in contact with the center, sometimes known as the axis mundi, the place where the celestial world spills over into the terrestrial world. It's that connection that enables me to live every single day and not go crazy. So you got to be submissive to that. I have to allow spirit in and not deflect it. And when I allow it in, it functions dynamically in my life. And there are many ways that you can continue to let it in, and it's very left brain. Play. Take leisure time. Go on vacation. Play a sport. Find a hobby. Do theater. Dance. Sing. Something that gets you out of the verbal mind, which is why I've always said yoga is one of the main metaphors for me. But anything can do it if it stops your thinking and involves you completely in direct experience in the moment. What's another way? The quality of your breath. Where is your breath at any given moment? The attention that's required to be that intimate with the breath when it gets subtle, that's going to serve you so well. And then, strangely enough, for the teachers out there, remember, when it's your own pose, anything you do well, it's a blessing. Anything you don't do well, it's even a bigger blessing. So in the same way, any student you get who goes along with the program, fantastic. But then you get the students that don't do it. Their body is slow to move. They're not really studying. They're a bigger blessing. You have to find a way to work your craft to reach them over time. All right. Last thing I want to say today is I've been struggling my whole life with social conditioning and the implications of what that is when society gives a wardrobe to you, a costume to wear. They also call it the persona, the mask you wear for social roles. They make you identify with it to such an extent that you think you are one with what you do in society. But that's like the caste system. You know, if you're a street sweeper from 9 to 5, when you come home from 5 to 9, you're still a street sweeper. But not in our ideas. Mm-mm. No, if you're a janitor from 9 to 5, when you come home from 5 to 9, you're whoever you want to be. You're not identified with your social role. So the teaching or the teacher evokes spontaneous participation with you in the love of learning. Sometimes that's called the left-hand path because you're not doing what society expects of you or wants you to do. Right? I flipped out, right? You guys know that. I've allowed the incongruities of life to help me find my own way. Or as Joseph Campbell says, follow your bliss. Do that thing you love to do. And realize that you're loving it when you're doing it. Then your life takes on a whole different tenor, and now you can give your gifts to the world. The one problem is, of course, there's no guidelines, the path with no railings. There are no rules to this because you don't know where you're going. You're not commuting. And so remember, the path unfolds as you walk it. I hope you find your own way. Peace be with you.